Good morning to you. I have Michelle here who is ever so bravely doing her bat signal one-on-one live in front of you guys. If you have never done something like this before, it's scary. It's scary to
It
unpack
is.
stuff like this in public. And so I just appreciate your vulnerability and I appreciate your uh, desire, I guess, to do it in front of people because it will help other people that get to watch this. Sorry, my
Mhm.
hood is inside out and that drives me crazy. Okay. And if you're like, Martha, you look a mess right now. I just got back from kickboxing and it is what it is. So
It's okay.
there we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So, Michelle, the question that I always like to start off with is what do you believe your bat signal is right now? And then let's kind of bob
Okay.
and weave in that
Okay.
space.
Well, that's a good question. I believe it is helping people to some aspect.
So helping people
Um,
in some aspect.
mhm,
Yes.
right.
Okay. Well, I'll agree with that for sure. Um, do you have any idea what aspect that could be? Are there any? Have you done the activity where like I tell you to check out what are the different things you researched?
It's been a while,
Okay.
um, but I can tell you the last 3 years of my life have been in the healthcare field, in the long-term care community, and definitely a lot of that while doing that was helping my dad.
Yeah. And so when you did this activity, this one,
Hmm.
um, which for those of you that don't know what that activity is, I'm moving so you can actually see my arm. Nope, that doesn't help. Nope, gotta move my arm. I'm gonna do this. I gotta fit inside my box. There we go. Nope, I don't. Listen, the mirror, this is, you guys need to know this because I'm not just stupid, okay? The mirror camera, when you have to like do things backwards, your brain is like, what is happening? So
Yeah.
anyway, imagine my arm is extended out and I'm doing this, okay? Basically, the bat signal exercise that I have you guys do these days, because I've been able to truncate it in some capacity where it doesn't take so long, is we see, like, as we've gone through our life, what are the different Google searches that we've been down that
Mhm.
have just completely taken us out, right? That have been like, I am, uh, I have been searching for this for days, weeks, months. I try things, they don't work, I go back to the search, right? So, what have those things been for you?
In the last
I think
year or
your whole doggone life.
oh
That's
gosh.
that's how we
Um,
determine, yeah,
okay. So I think lots of natural health resources.
sure.
Because I'm just not, maybe because I'm in the healthcare field, I'm not one that goes to the doctor and relies on, you know, medications and things like that. So there's always been an interest, or I've always tried to research whatever ailment, how to do that naturally.
Yeah.
Um, and then, gosh, you know, honestly, I've just always worked and been the caregiver to somebody
Mm-hmm.
throughout my entire life. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of where that's been.
Sure.
Um, and then COVID hit, obviously, and that kind of burnt me out on the whole healthcare. So I made a change in my career path, and went to the hospice side of healthcare. But I guess I enjoy being the resource for somebody in, well, how do I do this? Or, you know, um, where do I find this? Or what do
Yeah.
I do if I need that? And
The
so that's
resource.
kind of always,
Yeah.
and I've always been, trust is really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
When someone says something, I trust that they're going to do that, and I try really, really hard to make sure that I do that because I basically want to make sure that I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Yeah, of course. That's
So,
that's great.
yeah.
Yeah. So we have talked about this before, the being the resource for hospice. What took you away? That's why I didn't start with that, because I was
Yeah.
seeing if that's where you still. So what took you away from that to like where? What's going on?
So I was in the long-term care field for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a nurse for 30 years. When COVID hit, then and my dad passed away, who was
Right.
in our nursing home, I felt like it was time for me to just move into a different direction. And
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity came about that I would become a director in a local hospice nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
And so that's where I am now. And so I try really, really hard to advocate for those people who need that service, but also are still in the nursing home, because I feel
Yeah.
like with COVID and, the fact that it's tough for anybody to find help anywhere
Yeah.
in any industry, that healthcare's really taken a hit
Sure.
on that aspect. And so I knew that I really didn't want to continue there because it was so stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But I still wanted to be some sort of a healthcare
Advocate.
person,
Yeah.
an advocate.
And so, well, I guess what I'm saying is we had talked about your bat signal being in the hospice, like being a resource for them before. So did something happen that took you off that path to
I
where
think just
we're
stress.
talking again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think just the stress of everything going on,
Okay.
um, kind of, I just dropped that and just had to regroup just to make sure that is that still what I wanted to do.
Okay. So what is the answer to that question?
I think it must be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't. When you do something for so long in life that you just don't know what else that you would do, but
Mm-hmm.
yet people still come to you.
Yeah.
I mean, even in an everyday conversation, hey, just wanted to let you know this is what happened to me, and just keep you abroad on what my health is like. Um,
Yeah.
you still get those texts and emails and phone calls.
Yeah.
But I also know how difficult it was for me personally when I went through all of that, that you want to be the light there for somebody else too.
Yeah.
And as we get older, there's so many areas that people just need to know there's somebody there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't think your bat signal has changed, and I don't think
Okay.
that it needs to.
Okay.
I think that the place that you're living in and being able to be a good resource for a hospice for families approaching or coming into or experiencing hospice, like that world right there, that's you
Hmm.
can do so much good right there, and
Okay.
you know so much about it. I mean, when you're a like basically the head person at a hospice, you're able to give so many different. I mean, you've got a perspective that
Right.
most don't have, and
Right.
uh, and so yeah, that's I would run with that bat signal all the live long day, because if you
Okay.
love it, and that's what it sounds like, right? It doesn't. I would I
Yeah.
would I would coach on going away from it if it was something that was draining to you, if you couldn't handle it, if it was, if that was why
Hmm.
you weren't, why you kind of like went away from it a little bit. But really, it just sounds like life got stressful and you kind of just did one of these for a little bit, which is totally
Hmm.
natural. And you just did one of these for a little bit, and now you're ready to come back out, and you're like, okay, as I step back out, let me make sure I'm making the right steps. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I get
Yes.
that.
So you
I get
just
that.
wanted to make sure that you weren't so completely burnt out that you were giving somebody wrong information
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
jaded information. But you wanted to make sure, I just wanted to make sure that that's still where that was going.
I think so. And
Okay.
honestly, I think the fact that you even ask that question of yourself is proof. Because you're
Okay.
like, I don't want to give them the wrong information. Like that's
Yeah.
proof that you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
almost like the
Right.
people that are like the imposter syndrome. Like
Hmm.
people won't get imposter syndrome that are actually imposters. But if people have imposter syndrome, it's almost proof that they're not. because like
Right.
it's one of those sort of catch-22 weird things.
Hmm.
But yeah,
You just
just
kind of know.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
cool, lady. That's
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
Thank you.
Just lay the roots
Okay.
and just really just lean into it. My honest suggestion today would to be to I know you're a praying lady, so I'm going to say this to you.
Hmm.
I would pray over it. I would ask God to just light up what you're supposed to be
Okay.
doing next. That's not something for me to tell you. That's something for Him to tell you.
Yeah.
But just ask for it to be illuminated, ask for it to be made obvious. There is something sitting around you right now that is like going to be easy to grasp onto, and it will be made known to you. We just need
Okay.
to ask for that sort of thing. But
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much.
You got
I
it,
appreciate
lady.
you.
You got it. Everybody, you have the best day. We'll see you later, Michelle.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.